Hey guys, so I know I have not been on YouTube making videos for a very long time. I want to say it's actually going on about a year and a half, 2 years now since I've last uploaded anything. But today I'm going to be attempting a Nerf mod. I'm not sure if it's ever been done. But I'm going to take a old modified Maverick that I never use. It's just got all the basic mods like AR removal and penny addition and stuff like that. But this is a bad cylinder and stuff, and then I'm going to take the internals of a big bad bow, at least the plunger tube and the rod and all that stuff, and I'm going to basically make kind of like a giant like Big Brother version of a Night Finder, and then I'm going to just kind of stick the big bad bow plunger tube in there, make an attempt at fabricating a catch from probably another catch, most likely the Maverick. So yeah, let's see how that turns out. Starting here, as you can see, I've taken the internals out of the big bad bow. All you really need is the plunger tube and the seal and stuff, and then from this, as you can see, there are normally these flaps here, so I've trimmed those off. You don't want those because they're not going to be needed. And to actually make a catch, I've decided I'm going to make a clothespin catch like you do on a pump snap, and I'm going to do that by integrating a rough cut handle in the back, and I've cut out this whole section from the Maverick, and I'm going to do the same on the other side, and so that's going to give me my space for the trigger, and so the trigger and the catch will be one and the same if you don't know. And then up here I have to Dremel all of these little screw ports and guide rails, and I have to Dremel out this back part, and the plunger tube is going to kind of sit right about here, and yeah, so I'm not going to have the cylinder on the front because sadly that's not going to work. It would have been really cool, but I'll still have the frame of the Maverick more or less, and I'll kind of have like a big bad bow pistol. So I'll show you what it's like on the next step. This segment is showing how I have everything mounted so far. As you can see, I have the 3B plunger tube in here. I had to carve out almost everything in the shell. I had to get rid of some screw posts. I had to carve a hole in the side because this is just barely too big to fit inside the shell with everything carved out. And then over here, the handle, as you can see, I've got it mounted with the pieces of wood. I have 4 screws holding it in right now, which you can see here, but I want to run another smaller screw through right about here because it wobbles a lot in its current state, and that's very bad because it can weaken the wood and crack it and all sorts of things. Besides that, all that's really left is to make the trigger and the catch mechanism, and then make a priming handle for the back of this, and I'm probably going to trim this down a bit. Also, something I forgot to mention earlier is once you've cut off these big tabs here, you have to cut off these tabs as well. That's just so it'll actually fit through the back of the Maverick. And I have the holes for the priming rod carved out pretty large, but I'll have to go through and clean it up a bunch, and yeah. Besides that, it's coming along really nicely, and I'll see what happens from here. I sort of made it stupid and forgot to film, and then I lost my camera charger, so my camera died and I couldn't charge it. Anyway, quick summary of everything that's been missed. On the priming rod, as you can see, I filled these parts with epoxy, and on this side there's a bar. You can't really see it on camera, but it's for support so it doesn't break there. I've carved out this section here, and I made a ramp, and the catch goes in here, and I'm going to fill these slots up with e-putty so it slides more easily. Here on the catch, you can see I've got the slide from the Maverick bolted into the side, and that's where the trigger's mounted. And then I cut the nail, and I just ground it down and rounded it out with a file. And then I had to add this piece on because the hole in the in the slide was a little too large. So it's more of like a rectangle, so that this can still slide but only forward and backward, and it won't get moved out of the way of the catch, which was a problem previously. And then the trigger is off of a Firefly. Then for seal, I put a little bit of E-tape around the plunger tube. This just kind of snaps on now, and it won't like slide off, and that's because it was really loose in the shell. Anyway, what I'm going to do next is I have the wood piece that I used originally to mount the handle decided to snap, so I have shaped this piece off of an Rapid Fire 20, and this is going to go into the handle, and I'm going to epoxy putty it into place, and the handle's going to be in here, and then I have this stock off of an old like toy M16, and I'm gonna see if I can mount that to the back using 1-inch PVC, and then I might take foregrip off of a Vulcan and throw that on front, and then when all of that stuff's done, I will get on to painting it. One more thing before I go to painting this. As you can see, I've run CPVC through the center of this, and there's all this dead space in this cylinder part right here. So I have the ring here, which normally goes in right about there, and I've cut a 1-inch long piece of 1/2-inch PVC, and so I'm just going to widen this center hole in here a bit, and I'm going to hot glue the PVC into that space right there, right up against the CPVC cup barrel, and then I'm going to fill all of this dead space with hot glue, and that should help the range a bit. And yet again, one last thing, I've decided to fill in this space left over from where the cylinder for the revolver used to be. I'm going to actually put an AT3K tank in there, and I'm going to probably put a 3-dart absolver, and then I'll edit the pump somehow. I might connect a different pump or something, I don't know. So I finally finished this. I've done a lot of stuff. I upgraded the pump handle to a pump handle from a Super Soaker Max D3000, which is a mouthful of a name. It's fired by, you pump it up 3 times, the 3K, and you pull this pin here, and that fires about 110. I made a 6-dart speed loader from the cylinder from the Maverick. Then the 3B plunger tube, I inverted the skirt seal, which was someone's tip, because at first I had no idea, I never thought about that, and I tried it and I shot it and it shot like 5 feet, and so I asked some questions on Facebook, and they said to flip it inside out, and that increased the range. So now this gets like 95 feet-ish with a really good dart. So it can go up to 110 actually, and then with like worn-in darts it'll only hit 75, but that's still pretty good to me for my first like 3B mod. As you can see, I have the stock mounted into the handle actually with 3 bolts. I was going to mount it here, but I decided to mount it down here because there wasn't space here. And I've been playing paintball a lot lately, so I've gotten kind of used to having a stock way low. And yeah, so I really like it. It's got a pretty heavy prime. The spring combo in here is the stock spring, a recon spring, and a spring from a Busby Hawk, I think. And yeah, so then I have the trigger again down here with this, which is the clothespin trigger with the Firefly, the actual trigger thing. I put E-tape on this bolt here, the priming bolt, because otherwise it gives you really bad like abrasions, and it leaves this like imprint in your hand from the threads. So yeah, and then I also added some guide rails, which I'm not sure if you can see them on camera. You can kind of see them, but they just help keep the nail from the catch in place. The seal is really good. It seals almost 100%, but there's not that much draw, so it's kind of hard to show. It's all held together mechanically, and yeah, I've decided to keep the Franken-Blaster look because in the Facebook group Nerf Modders Welcome, I posted this, and all the comments that I got and the multiple posts I made about this over the last like month it's taken me of working on this, I've gotten the most amazing feedback. So for everyone that gave me feedback, that was awesome. Anyway, that's my review. If you have any name ideas, you can post them in the comments section below. And yeah, so yeah, I love this thing, and I'm probably going to use it as my primary for the next NIC war I go to. So if I can, I'll see if I can get some footage of me using it on the field, and I'll post that in a separate video. But anyway, until then, I will see you guys later.